Hey guys, it's Corinne. It is June 12th on Sunday, and if you see my wobbly, I'm in the car. Of course you can see that. I'm on my way to the dollar store to pick up my newspapers. I'm hoping that they have some left. Anyways, I hadn't posted the last day or two because I had been hit with some respiratory issues, and I'm going to go ahead and go into that, and then I'll go ahead and post what I ate videos. So it's going to be a long video, so try and hang in there, you guys, okay? So yesterday I woke up and I have an oxygen monitor, O2 stat meter, that I have at home, and I've been, progressively daily monitoring my oxygen levels and my heartbeat. I am asthmatic. I do deal with bronchitis throughout the year, and right now I am not covered under insurance. So I also deal with horrible self-care issues, and I find it hard to get up and go to the doctor when needed because of financial reasons, and just the stinking thinking pops in, and then I can't make a decision and stick with it. I'll make a decision and then I'll either wait around or start getting ready to do whatever this decision is, and then I change my mind. Anyways, so yesterday I was up. I ate my breakfast, I believe, which I have a video, I think, of. And then my son woke up. He wanted some cereal. I fixed him a cereal. I was putting my milk away in the refrigerator. And then all of a sudden I got extremely dizzy to the point where I fell into my refrigerator, and it was closed, thank God. And I held on, like I fell kind of forward, and I held on to the door handles. And then I started feeling chest pain, and it wasn't, general everywhere chest pain. It was towards the left. I also have a heart murmur since I was a kid, and I noticed the older I'm getting, the more flutters I have, the more chest pain I have, and it's just, I recently found out that when you're having breathing difficulties, that it can make the murmur activate, if you will, and start whooshing and working harder than it really needs to. So at that moment, I told my son, finish your breakfast as soon as you can. And I go into the room and I told my husband, I think I need to go to the hospital. I think I need to go to the ER. And I told him what was going on. I was getting dressed, just throwing on whatever I had. And I said, I'm going to need you to drive because I'm dizzy and I just can't. He said, okay. So he's one to panic when things like this happen. And so he got the kids, we got in the car, we went to a freestanding ER. It was newer. It's only been open for a few weeks, I believe. And we got there. I registered with my demographic information in about 5 minutes of getting in there. I was called to the back. I had a triage nurse in the room with me. There was no other patients there. So I had a triage nurse in there doing vitals. Triage is vitals before you see a doctor or whatever, to make sure you're not critical. So the vital nurse was in there. Then the rad tech was in there. Radiology technician was in there getting other vitals and stuff. She was helping out the nurse. Nurse was on the computer. Radiology technician was doing the actual vitals, and then the actual nurse came in or whatnot. And so I was so dizzy, and I couldn't concentrate and monitor. I couldn't concentrate. I'm sorry. I'm still dealing with respiratory issues. Could not concentrate on, what the readings were coming up with. And I did my blood pressure, my oxygen, my heart rate, and my temperature. And I don't know what my temperature was. They never told me. And lesson that I've learned, and it's funny because I work in the medical field, or I'm a stay-at-home mom now. But working in the medical field, I should have known that I really should have written all my vitals down upon having them read or whatever. So anyways, sorry you guys, my phone cut off because I was driving by Panera and its internet wanted to log on. So, and I'm almost to the dollar store to pick up my newspapers. So I'll try and get back at it. So, should have wrote everything down, and I didn't. But I do remember I don't know. I remember that my blood pressure, this was after the fact when I was home, was in the 170s over it was in the 170s over 90s. It was like, I don't know, somewhere in there. And so my road rage almost came out yelling at this guy walking slow, just looking at me, walking across the parking lot. Doo-doo-doo. Anyways, I normally don't have road rage. So, yes, my blood pressure was in the 170s over 90s. That's extremely high. So, for me, it's extremely high. I never had issues with blood pressure before. My oxygen levels were at 95, and as I was sitting up, it went up. But when I lay back at all, it goes down. And so it went up to 97, and that's what she wrote down in my chart. I wasn't happy. My heart rate was 10 something. I don't remember, but I know it was in the 100s. And the doctor came in, and he was like, oh, I can relate, I'm asthmatic, and when my allergies start messing with me, it flares up bronchitis, and sounds like you have a viral infection going on, maybe you have bronchitis infection or something. I'm sorry, I'm stuck to my thing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give you, he listened to my lungs and he goes, oh, it doesn't sound like you have pneumonia, so there's no need for x-rays. If you excuse me, I will be right back. Hey guys, I am back. I did record the rest of the story on my way home, but for some reason I can't open it to edit it in the program that I used. And my husband seems to think that it's too long, but I've been able to use videos that are about that same length, or even some that are a little longer. Don't mind my hair. It's really bad weather today. Lots of heat, humidity. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and just finish the story and try to remember what was in the video. I can't even open it with other programs. I had to do all kinds of things. I had to install new editing software or whatever, and I don't know. I guess I need to get an actual camera or something, actual digital camera, and then I'd have to figure out how to edit it on the computer. Play around with, I guess, YouTube. Anyway, see, I get off track, and that's why these videos are so long. So anyways, I left off on, the doctor was in the room. He came into the room, and he said, it sounds like you may have a virus that, my brain just stops working. I had everything on this video, and it makes me so angry. Let it go, let it go. Blech. Okay, sit. So the doctor was in the room, and he said, he sat down, and he introduced himself and everything. And he said that he could totally relate to me because he's asthmatic, and it sounds like I have some kind of viral infection, possibly bronchitis. And when his asthma flares up, it messes with his asthma and da-da-da-da-da. He listened to my lungs and my heart and said that, oh, it doesn't sound like you have pneumonia, so we're not going to do any x-rays. So no x-rays. But we're going to give you a shot of steroids. And so I waited, and then the nurse came in, and she had the shot. And before she gave it to me, I asked her, I said, well, the doctor never addressed my dizziness. Does he have an idea why I'm dizzy? And she says, do you want me to go get the doctor? She kind of had an attitude. I said, no. I mean, if you can tell me what he thinks, then that's fine. And she says, oh, it's probably just your anxiety. You're breathing too fast. It's probably your asthma. And I looked at her, I'm like, what do you mean breathing too fast? I need you to focus on your breathing. Did you see my eyes roll? I wasn't breathing fast, you guys. I wasn't. And then I said, well, what about the chest pain? She says, oh, that's all related to your asthma. I was severely dizzy, and I mean, it was insane. So she gave me the shot in my arm, and she says it's going to take a while for it to kick in, but once it does, you'll feel so much better. So I've had steroid shots before, and I know how they work, and they usually, for me, take between 30 minutes to an hour or so, depending on, you know, if I sit down and rest and let it do its job. So I'm upset, but I'm like, whatever. They go to discharge me without giving my vitals again. I never understood that. I've always had them redo my vitals before they discharge me. And so she discharged me with 2 prescriptions, one for prednisone, the steroid that you take. That's what they give me when I have flare-ups. And Flovent, which is the daily steroid that I was on a few months ago, but I ran out of refills, and my doctor's just been busy. She's got a big practice and lots of, you know, elderly people and stuff that she sees. So and I like her and everything, but it's time probably to find a new one or something. I don't know. I hate having to go back to the drawing board for all that. Anyways, I'm on 5 minutes. After I hit 10, that's what I'll do. Anyways, so we were in a car on our way home, or to CVS, the drugstore, to drop off these scripts. And I was trying to be as optimistic as possible that these meds are going to start working. I started getting a headache, and I knew that it was going to turn into a migraine. And then I started getting nauseous. And so I was like, we'll just drop them off, go home, we'll eat lunch, and then I'll go lay down and rest and let the medicine, the steroid, do what it needs to do. Well, after I ate and I lay down, monitoring my levels, because I have my monitor, I saw this, and I'm going to give you a clip right now. And I was very scared. So keep in mind, I was very scared. Are you serious? I am not breathing fast. So, at that point, I said out loud, and this was after 3 hours. 3 hours, approximately. It was maybe a little more, but 3 hours after having that steroid shot, I was told I'd be able to breathe better, I wouldn't have the dizziness, and my chest pain would go away, all that. So yeah, I kind of was like, yeah, I need to go back to the hospital. And this time I'm going back to the one that I used to work at, and because I stopped working there in April. And the reason why I didn't go there to begin with is because when I need care, I just want the care. I don't want necessarily visitors. I want all my ailments to I don't want to be in pain anymore. I had the migraine and I was very dizzy, and I didn't want to talk. I just wanted them to find out what was wrong and fix it. So anyways, I just had my husband drop me off this time because, this particular hospital is extremely thorough for whatever reason. But still they're very thorough, and they do their testing and stuff. When I got in and I checked in, I told them I need to be seen for shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, dizziness, and chest pain. When I said chest pain, it was like, oh, let's bring you to the back. We're going to hook y'all up and do all this. And so they did an EKG, and they said it looked normal. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. And then they asked for a urine sample. They did blood work. They did x-rays. And then towards, the middle of my stay there, they wanted to do a CT. The doctor came in and said, we just want to rule out an embolism, which is a blood clot, and everything. So they did all that, and I'm trying to think. I was there, and I let them know that I was having a severe migraine. If there was anything, whenever they can, if they can give me. For me, when I get migraines, the only thing that will, help the pain and help me stay functioning is Tylenol 3. But I feel silly and really scared to ask for that. Because a lot of addicts come in, and that's, they know what works for them and stuff. So I didn't worry about it. They gave me a non-narcotic pain med, but apparently it was for my chest pain. When at that point there was pain, but it wasn't as severe as the headache, and it did nothing for anything. So that happened. So the nurse practitioner, I saw him first, who I know I've worked with before at that hospital. And then the doctor came in about letting me know about the embolism. And he was a newer doctor, so I never really worked with him. He came when I left. And then I saw the nurse practitioner again. And so what he said was, I do have good news. You have not shown signs of heart attack, cardiac, stroke activity, and there's no embolism activity. However, the radiologist did find a nodule in your lung, and so that was that. I stopped listening. It's not that I stopped listening. I couldn't hear after that. I do think he said it was a small one and everything, so that was, that's what it was. I knew what it was, and I took a few minutes to sit there and let it sink in. He did ask me, are you a smoker? This is like, I don't know, the third or fourth time I was asked that while I've been there, and I said, I'm a quitter. I've been quit for about 6 years. And so, the thing is they don't ask how long were you a smoker, and I had been a smoker for a long, long time. Started extremely young, and it was, I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna be honest, I was a smoker for about 20 years, and the thing that stopped me from smoking is I did get pregnant, and I tried lighting up after my baby was born, and I couldn't anymore. It tasted disgusting. I still want cigarettes, but I know, I would prefer to breathe and live as long life as possible. But at that moment, in those few moments before I took my next action, because I was texting, my loved ones what was going on and stuff. And before, I wanted to give them that information, I wanted to sit there and think, oh my gosh, my grandfather, my dad's dad, died of spots on the lungs, and that's what a nodule is. It's a spot on the lung. He had a few of them, I believe, if I remember. And he was 60 something, I believe, when he passed away. And I was thinking to myself, you know, what did I do? What did I do to my body? You know, those 20 whatever years. You don't think as a kid, as a young adult and stuff. And it, you know, and then I was like, okay, it may not even be that. It may be some kind of scar tissue from an infection I've had. I do have, you know, asthma, bronchitis a lot. Anyway, so I Googled it before I texted anybody, because that's what my family does. They Google things, WebMDing it, diagnosing everybody with, you know, cancer and non-curable stuff. So I did Google it, and that's what came up. And it was the first sentence. And, lung on a nodule, you know, could be cancerous, blah, blah, blah. But the second line, you know, explained that it's usually not, or whatever. So I texted my husband, and I basically texted him the two things that they found that there was no activity of. However, they found this other thing, and that they were going to give me some pain meds, non-narcotics, and then I don't know what after. I didn't know I was being discharged or any more tests or whatnot. And then I texted him, do not Google. Wait until you see me and we can talk about this. And then I did the same thing with my loved ones and stuff. And I was posting on Facebook as well. Because, you know, I like prayers. I do think they work and everything. So anyways, so that happened. And then this nurse came in with the non-narcotic pain med, which was, I had an IV in with regular saline, and she pushed that into my IV, and then told me I needed to get somebody here to come pick me up, and I was being discharged. I was like, okay, even though my vitals are like that. And I was confused because what it was reading. So I'll go ahead and put a clip in here. I'm being discharged. I'm still confused on it. The only thing that was low, well, start from the top. The top one is the heart rate. I think that's what it is. The top big number is the heart rate, and then there's a little number or whatever that's something with the heart. I can't remember what the readings are, the different lines. So the top big one and the little one underneath it are heart monitors or whatever. Then the middle one is your my brain just went blank. I know it's your oxygen. And then that last one is like your reps. How fast are you breathing? How hard are you breathing, or something like that? And or how much, like, how deeply are you breathing? I think that's what that is. And and then the blood pressure is down at the left hand side. And so my heart rate was elevated, the beats per minute or whatever. My oxygen levels were low. Normal oxygen levels, I believe, are between 97 is pushing it, and 100. I believe it was like 93 or 94 in that. And then your normal heart rate is between 60 and 80 for an adult. And then my blood pressure's at the higher end, normal is 140, I believe, over 80. I believe. So that was high. And they still discharged me. And they discharged me with some of that non-narcotic pain meds. So I got home, and my kids wanted to eat a snack. It was pretty late. It was around 9 o'clock. So I let them have a snack. My 6-year-old son was extremely worried. He didn't want to go to bed without me. So I put him to bed. I lay down with him. We said prayers. And then after that, my husband, I sent him off to go get some dinner. We had Taco Bell. You'll see that in what I ate later on in this video, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put what I ate at the end, just little snippets or whatever. I don't think I took a picture of that, though. I was hungry. And me and my husband talked. The positives that I can pull from this adventure is I know now not to go to that freestanding ER, and that I need to just go to the closest hospital, which is the one that I used to work at. And it's the one that it's the most expensive because it is doctor owned. And they did find out that 2 serious things were not going on. And then they did find something that I need to definitely pay attention to. I call this a God thing. Today when I woke up, my breathing wasn't as bad as it was yesterday, but it's not fully restored. And it was a total God thing. I don't want to say an eye-opener, but it was a God thing that I got myself to the hospital and they found what they found. So what I do tomorrow, and I would love if you guys will hold me accountable, is not stop trying to get into a pulmonologist. I have 2 that were recommended that I'm going to try and call. I called one last week on Friday, and I left 2 messages, and nobody ever called me back. But I'm going to try again on tomorrow, Monday, and then if I'm going to call both of them. I have 2 referrals that I'm going to call recommendations, and then I have to get in, and then just follow up on, everything. Let them know, it's on my paperwork, Get in. It actually says get in to see one, I think, as soon as possible, but the nurse practitioner said you're going to need another scan in a year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And so I'm just going to ask for prayers. I'm not going to woe is me type of thing. I have kids. I'm worried about that, but I'm going to have faith and trust my higher power, whom I choose to call God, and know that everything will work out the way it needs to work out. And so I will end my little story here because it is going over 10 minutes now, and I know I'm able to do at least 12, 14 minutes with the editing. So anyways, I'm going to end this here, and then I'll just pick up with where I left off on what I ate. Thank you so much for sticking this out. I wanted to put it out there. I wanted to share, because this is totally about finding Corinne. And for me, that means taking care of myself. That's what it means, is taking care of me, making sure I am the best that I can be, so I can be the best mommy to my kids, so I can be the best wife to my husband, so I can be the best Corinne for my higher power. And so, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end this and continue editing since I can't use my other video. I think that's it. And I will see you guys later. Tomorrow I'll be doing a Motivational Monday, hopefully, if I can find something. If it moves me, I will do a meditation Monday, if one of the readings do. Sandwich, you can see lots of veggies. I forgot to ask them to put the mustard on. There's avocado in there too. Just say hey to my kids. Say hi. Say hi, YouTube. So that's what I have. And here's my drink. Put you around now. This is my breakfast because I'm extremely winded and need something fast so I can get up, get dressed, and then possibly head over to urgent care. Self-care is not my strongest point. Alright, Ellen, this is my lunch. This, of course, is watermelon. Funny story. My phone keeps unfocusing. Alright, so I bought a mini watermelon.